Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Karen, the Women's Midlife Specialist, and I have a great lab to share with you today because this is a 42-year-old lovely lady who is not on any hormone therapy right now. And I just love this opportunity to help a young 42-year-old because I know where this time in your life is. So we're going to um, call her LD. And her estrogen, if you look at her results, her estradiol is low for her age at 1.1 during this premenopause day. When we do our labs, are day 19, 20, or 21. So this is called the luteal stage. It's the second half of a cycling woman's cycle. So we know that the levels should be somewhere between here. And so she's a little low during that time. Now, what's important to know is that when you are in this premenopause state, and remember, premenopause can be 10, 15, even 15 years before menopause, and the average age of menopause is 52. So I don't know if LD is going to go through menopause early or if she's actually just hitting that time in her life where she's actually experiencing premenopause like a typical woman 10 years before. So the estrogen can go up and down and fluctuate up and down and cause some really difficult symptoms. But when we look at her progesterone, it's normal. So expected between 75 and 270. And with this particular month, at this particular day, her estradiol was 1.1. It put her in a normal progesterone to estrogen ratio of 115, optimal being between 100 and 500, when the estradiol is between 1.3 and 3.3. So she only is optimal right now because her estradiol is actually low. When her estradiol goes flips up and down and flips up, she's going to be estrogen dominant. So you look at this and you go, well, first let me say, we look at the testosterone 51, and I think to myself, oh, what was it like when I was 42? I would have loved to have had that 51, but let's see, what's up with LD? Does she like it? Is it helping her? Or is it part of the problem? Now, when we look at her BMI, it's just a little bit over, a little overweight. So, I think, could this be the main issue? So, I don't know yet. Let's first take a look at a few other things. These are her graphs, and here you see her estradiol a little low for her age of 42. Progesterone is okay, almost average for her age. Testosterone is above the graph, above where she'd normally be if she were in the average. I'm sorry, if she were within her reference range. She's really more like a 30-year-old, but you see, it hasn't declined too much by the time you're 42. So, what is going on? Let's take a look at just the general before we look at this, all of the symptoms. Let's look at the general overview of the symptoms. So interesting, very interesting. She has intolerable symptoms related to high androgens. That's that testosterone here, not too high, but look at that. That's her number one complaint, high estrogens. And then next to that is high cortisol, and next to that is estrogen dominance, and next to that is metabolic syndrome. So this is that high androgens, high cortisol, that feeling of estrogen dominance, even though this particular month she wasn't estrogen dominant because her estrogen was showing low, and metabolic syndrome. So let's talk about this a little bit more. High androgens, high cortisol, metabolic syndrome symptoms all overlap. So is it the chicken or the egg? Are her sex hormones off? Does she have adrenal issues? Is it metabolic syndrome from her diet? Is it with these sex hormones off, a estrogen dominance or a testosterone and DHE elevation. So, what do we have here? Well, first, I have to look at her as a whole, and I got to go back to the basics. I know she's young. I know she's having regular cycles. She does not appear to be estrogen dominant right at this moment, but she can have periods of estrogen dominance when her estrogen is fluctuating in the high range. And there are certainly reasons to address this and not ignore this. And how do I know? We need to look at her individual symptoms. So let's pop over to that right now. And here we have some significant symptoms. So, if we look at the most severe symptoms first, we've got weight gain in the waist, which is significant for quite a number. If we look at these darker dots, we know that it can be metabolic syndrome, high cortisol, high androgens, and it can also be the need for estrogen or progesterone. Now, over here, we've got mood swings, we've got irritable. These are severe mood swings and irritable. These are hormones really fluctuating. And then we've also feeling nervous and anxious. So this whole category of a lot of mood issues that are very uncomfortable to deal with. And let's see, we've got acne is moderate, increased facial body hair is moderate. These are high androgen symptoms, very important to look at. High stress, this is moderate. She's ranking this as moderate. Depression, that looks like that mood issue. Foggy thinking, when you got all this stuff going on, there's foggy thinking. And look at this, sleep is disturbed and headaches. These are so big in progesterone deficiency. So we're really looking about a lot of things. Now, when I see this infertility problems as moderate, that jumps out and worries me right away. It makes me think, could we have PCOS symptoms? Could this actually be a case of PCOS? Well, then we see severe possibility of low blood sugar. And one thing that you should know is that when you have low periods of low blood sugar, it's common to also have periods of high blood sugar and not even know it, but instead those symptoms be showing as sugar cravings, and well, that shows up with low blood sugar, but sugar cravings, stress, high mood swings. So, all of these things might be playing a factor. So, let's decide how we're going to help LD, because this is really super important. So, when I look at you as a whole LD, these are the things I want to discuss: the possibility of PCOS, the fact that we need to calm the adrenals, reduce stress, optimize diet, and we need to use a low dose progesterone during the second half of your cycle. So, since you listed infertility problems and all the other things that seem to be pointing toward a possible PCOS, the first thing I'd like you to do is take a look at this website, chiralbalance.com. Now, this particular um, uh, URL address takes you to a video I'd really like you to watch. Anyone that thinks they may be having symptoms of PCOS, I want you to head on over here and take a look at this, because this supplement may be a godsend for you. So take a look at that. That's the first thing in discussing PCOS possibility. The second thing we want to do is calm the adrenals, reduce stress, and optimize your diet. And we're going to calm your adrenals and optimize your diet, which is going to help the adrenal glands. Because when you have these elevations of blood sugar or low drops of blood sugar, if you have low drops of blood sugar, I know that you're also having these periods of spiking blood sugar if you consume too many carbohydrates or fast breaking down carbohydrates, which are called high glycemic carbohydrates. That happens when people have low blood sugar. And if it's not happening now, it will lead there. So I'm recommending that this would be Adrenovive along with a comprehensive nutrient supplement as well to support your entire body. This would be suspected. This is about a 6 month. I would focus on using this for about 6 months, 2 capsules in the morning. So remember this, you do need a good supplement to support your entire body. Now, when we look at that low glycemic diet, we want to assure that we eliminate breads, pastas, and processed foods. It can be done, I promise you, but massively increase your vegetables using that balsamic vinegar and maybe just 1 tablespoon of oil a day. Let's go ahead. You're fortunate. You're just a little bit overweight, but this can and will likely lead to significant weight gain into the menopause years. So you're at that opportunity right now to kick this right now, nip it in the bud. Use these good, healthy fats as supplements to your diet. This avocado is delicious, and hummus is good too. That is healthy fat. So, avocado, hummus, don't eat a lot of fruits that are anything other than berries at this time so we can really squelch anything that is going to jump your blood sugar up and then followed by a low blood sugar. So let's only focus on berries like blueberries, strawberries, boysenberries, blackberries, and then of course lemons and limes. You can squeeze those in your drinks, and no more than a half to an apple a day. I like apples. They're high in fiber. They're lower glycemic index. They also have pectin, which is extremely healthy for the gut. And so a half to an apple a day is okay too, but stay away from dried fruit. And we want this very low sugar diet. No diet foods though, because that's not healthy for you or the bacteria in your good bacteria in your gut. Focus on minimal dairy because dairy has a lot of lactose, which is a sugar, so we want to stay away from that. Greek yogurt, if you are a dairy eater, Greek yogurt that is plain, not the ones that are flavored, but the plain ones, you can throw some blueberries in it. And you know what else you can do on it to make it a delicious dessert? You can take that Greek yogurt, you can throw some blueberries in it, shave some of this dark chocolate off of this, mix it in there. Ooh, 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 it's yummy. So that's the kind of eating that is going to get those blood sugars better controlled and be very, very healthy for you if you are also dealing with some mild PCOS or even moderate PCOS. This is the perfect diet for anyone who has PCOS. If you have to have dessert because somebody's, um, you know, tempting you, go for something like this. I just bought me some of this yesterday. This peanut butter, chocolate peanut butter this is one of my favorite ones because it's only 35 calories per serving. It's got 5 grams of protein, very low carb, and it's also got fiber, so it's great. And I mix it. Actually, I mix this. I use about a serving size, but I put maybe 1 big tablespoon of another flavor called Brownie Blast. It's 75 calories per serving, but only a big spoonful. And then I top it off with the chocolate peanut butter. Good. Now, the other thing that is a trick is this dark chocolate. They usually come in larger bars, not the typical Hershey bar. You want to stay away from those Hershey bars. That's just nothing but sugar. But a dark chocolate is excellent dessert. I never eat true full serving. They usually have about 2 to 2.5 servings per bar, and I only eat a quarter of one for a dessert. That's all you need is just a little taste. Okay, so what about the sex hormones? Because this is so important. And that's what we want to do. We want a low dose progesterone the second half of the month. So, Hormone Protect, we're going to use 1 pump twice daily for days 15 through 28 of your cycle. But if you really feel that you're missing this hormone protector in the first half of your cycle, that's a very common thing that I hear, especially if you get headaches. And I see that you have headaches. That's a very common symptom of low progesterone. Then days 7 through 14, you can use one pump before bed instead of one pump twice per day. And then as you get closer to your 50s, your hormone protect dose will need to be increased. But you'll be retesting, so you'll know all about that. Okay, so I hope this helped you, LD. I am so honored to help at this stage of your life. I am super excited for you. I feel that you are making a huge step, a huge leap forward, and your menopause is going to, and midlife years are going to be so much better. Okay, my darling. And thank you everyone for listening. Give me a thumbs up, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.